Look at that. That is terrifying, isn't it? Oh, yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you might be out there in the big wide world. I know some of you, it's the morning. Some of you, it is the evening. I've got this terrifying thing looming overhead, but we'll get to that in a minute. How you doing? Where are you watching from, guys? Let me know. Let me know where you are right now out there in the world. I've got my morning coffee. Who is it this morning? It's Ryotaro. There you go. I think we probably got some new viewers here because the Abroad Japan Patreon has grown the last month, thanks to Journey Across Japan. And for those of you that are new, we have I have 3 mugs that I do this Patreon live show with. I've got Ryotaro, I've got myself, and I've got Natsuki. We've got these sent in by an awesome viewer. And when you pour in a hot liquid, you get to see who it is. So when I pick these off the shelf, I don't know which cup it is until I put the coffee in, and then Ryotaro's terrifying face begins to emerge like a nightmare, almost as nightmarish as this thing looming overhead. But let's see where you are. Portobello, Edinburgh, very nice. Eric from Texas, Planet of the Turkey, Yorkshire, Toronto, California, very nice. Minnesota, the Netherlands, frosty Sweden, good old West Canada, Dragonlands of Wales, County Durham, Elos from Planet Earth, Jakarta, Atlanta, Tokyo, Moscow, Adelaide. Bloody hell, this is a very diverse bunch of folks we got here this morning. Thank you, guys, no matter where you're joining from today. Thank you for joining for this show. Do it every month, and for me, it's one of the highlights of doing Patreon, getting to talk to you guys. Every now and then when I do a live show on YouTube, we get so many people turn up that I can't really actually talk to anyone because it just gets flooded with people. So the benefit of doing this Patreon show, I get to actually answer your questions and chat with you. And for the next hour, I'm all yours. For the next minute, that would be very bad, even by my standards. But can you guess what this is? So I like to start off these Patreon live shows with a camera that's in focus, and also with a bit of show and tell, something interesting, something exciting. But can you guess who this is? It was sent in by a Patreon, by someone who's probably here right now. I think I saw them. Eels or Ellen from Sweden. She sent this in. It's a cutout of somebody. Can you guess who it is? Is it a cutout of Elon Musk, says Daniel? No, it's not. I know Charlotte's got one, I think. Charlotte got one for her birthday last year. Is it a Natsuki cutout? I mean, that would be quite good. Standy from Natsuki the movie. No, Dr. Jelly. No, it's not Joey. It's Elon Musk, says Coltsan. It's not Elon Musk, I can assure you. It's someone who needs to fit with the channel. Somebody who I have failed to meet over the years, and quite a few of you have guessed it now in the comments. It is, of course, it's Charlotte. Now, unfortunately, I see Charlotte fairly often. This is, of course, God, you can't even see it. Oh God. This is a terrible start to my morning. Can't even see who it is. That's a problem. Can we break his legs? Like, how do we? Oh, fuck it. Let's have to do it like this. There you go. It's Ken Watanabe. I think it's to scale as well. He's. I think in real life, Ken Watanabe is this tall. He's about 6 foot. So he's a tall chap. So tall, in fact, we can't see him. Maybe we turn it on his side like that. Does that work? Does that? No. Yeah. There we go. This is fucking chilling. This is really unnerving. Can he break his legs? And you wonder why he hasn't met you yet, says Matthew. Exactly, Matthew. This is really quite surreal. We'll see how long I can withstand this before I feel really uncomfortable. Look at his face. It looks like the real Ken Watanabe is kind of here. It's awkward. Cardboard cutouts. I think they're a bit creepy. When I was putting this up just before the live show, and I saw his face, I was just like, "Oh, this is scary." He's ominously staring into the camera with his dead eyes, says Dowd Pride. It looks like he's silently judging you, says Adam. He's judging us, says Liz. He's judging all of us. I did try to meet Ken Watanabe once 2 years ago. It didn't go well. I missed him by a week. I made a documentary in about the tsunami in 2018. And we went to Ken Watanabe's got a restaurant not too far from Sendai. It's like 2 hours that way. That helps you. And we went to the cafe, and the idea was we'd interview him. And sometimes he comes up to the cafe like once or twice every 2 or 3 months, and he waits on the customers and actually brings you your food and drink. And we're supposed to interview him, but the guy who was organising it fucked it up by a week, and he wasn't there. And I was really angry. So at least we got this now to make up for that. Kind of. Chris, put it in your window, says says Tony. Yeah, that'll certainly get some eyebrows raised. Creepy Merry Christmas in advance, says Eels. Thank you, Eels. And thank you for sending this. I'm sure we'll find a good use for it somehow. I'm thinking of having it in the kind of upcoming videos. It's really creepy. We'll see how long I can last. But do we send stuff to Tokyo Creative, says Vanessa, to send to you? I still want to draw your picture. Yes, Tokyo Creative, they take my stuff, then they give it to me. So I'll give you the address on Patreon after this. There's a new address, I think, the last few months. So I'll put that on there. And if you want to send anything, you can do it there. The reason I don't promote it like online, like on YouTube, is because I don't want loads of packages and things. It's nice to do it just on Patreon, so the chosen few can send stuff, and not 500,000 people, because I think Tokyo Creative would get buried in a sea of packages. My husband has kiss cutouts, and they scare the hell out of me at night time. I bet they do. Anything at night time involving cutouts. I mean, imagine that, like the silhouette of Ken Watanabe in this room. Turn down the lights. Let's try it. Let's see what it looks like. I mean, it doesn't really work, does it, when you've got like 3 lights on? Fucking hell. All right, back. What we got then? Drive around with him in your car. I love this. This live show is just going to turn into 101 suggestions what to do with the Ken Watanabe cardboard cutout. Drive around in the car, have him in the window, fill your apartment with cutouts like that town with the scarecrow people, says Onyx. Ah, yes, the scarecrow people. Norm Tokyo Lens did a video on that. There's a town in Shikoku where the population has collapsed so badly that they've replaced people with scarecrows, like you do. And it looks both endearing and fucking creepy. But it's a great video, and I recommend you go and check it out. Cameo in various videos. I'd like a Natsuki cutout, says Kenny. That could be good. It could be a new line of Abroad Japan merchandise, Natsuki and Ryotaro cardboard cutouts. Make them fight. My mate has a cutout of Ryan Gosling, and every time people stay over, we put it outside their bedroom door after they've gone to bed. And we always know when they wake up, says Scott. Ryan Gosling. Hide Ken Watanabe in Natsuki's salon. Yeah, why not? Speaking of Natsuki, I'm actually seeing him soon. Before I get to that, though, one more show and tell thing. I'm trying to be healthy at the moment. Typically, I don't know about you, but when Christmas rolls around, my weight tends to go up dramatically because it gets so damn cold, and it's already started to snow up here in North Japan. So I changed my diet, and I do it by one way, and that is smoothies. It feels like some sort of product placement now, doesn't it? The taste of Abroad Japan smoothies. But no, smoothies are good. And it does look pretty shit, but it's actually quite good. Banana. What else is in here? Banana, mixed berries, protein shake, milk, water, ice. Yeah, basically just milk and berries and banana, isn't it? But tastes good. John says, "Is that coal? Is that coal?" No, it's not coal, John. It's berries and bananas, and when you blend them together, they look like crap, but tastes good. And I found just by replacing my breakfast with smoothies, and again, this feels like some sort of shopping channel now. When I replace my breakfast with smoothies, I just feel healthier and lose weight. It's good though. I recommend it. Fruit smoothies equals lots of sugar, says Sticks. Yes, I imagine it's probably not as healthy as I'm making it out to be. Has it got black sesame in, says Peter? It doesn't. That is just the berries, Peter. Add in protein powder. Yeah, there's a little bit of protein powder in there as well. Generally, I find after having a smoothie, I am full for the next maybe 4 or 5 hours. About 4 hours after this, I'm still kind of full. And that is why, still looking at Ken Watanabe, and that is why it's a good little substitute for breakfast, because it keeps you filled up and it's good for you. So there you go. Look at me preaching about something healthy for once. Makes a change from the family mart fried chicken, doesn't it? A war has now erupted in the comments over the sugar in smoothies. Dowd Pride says fruit sugars are good though. They aren't simple sugars. You need the sugars from fruit, so it's a great way to start the morning. Add chia seeds. Can I pronounce that right, Georgina? Chia seeds for fiber. You should add avocados. Your mustache isn't as dreadful as you made it out to be in the email above. Says chuck it all and go. Yeah, how's it look? Because it's Movember. I don't know if you do it. I don't know how popular Movember is outside of November and outside the UK. But in the UK, in November, everybody grows a moustache because it's kind of about raising awareness for cancer and men's health. And also I do it because it's bloody cold at the moment, and it's nice to have some hair there to keep me warm. But I hope it's all right. Hope it's not as bad as I make it out to be. I'll probably be gone next week. So if you don't like it, don't worry. It'll be gone. So what are you all doing for Christmas? I've got some interesting plans for Christmas, which I'll get onto in a minute. But are you doing anything interesting? I mean, most years when I ask that question, the answer is yes, I'm going on holiday to Hawaii, or yes, I'm going to Spain. But this year, I guess it's not as nice as that, given everything going on. Having Ken loom over your shoulder like that is really off-putting. Have you tried the new Burger King burger yet, Chris? Aki did a video on it. No, what is the Burger King burger? What is it? It's time to turn Ken Watanabe around because he's creeping me out. We'll just put him over there. Like that. That just looks weird. Shit. You go there. There you go. Is that better? That'll do. If you want Ken Watanabe back later on, we can bring him back. But there's already one creepy weirdo in this video. We don't need two, do we? Ken was so distracting. Thank you. Yes, he's over there now. It's a lot less creepy now. Now you realise he's a 2D thing, and Ken Watanabe is not, in fact, lurking over my shoulder. I'm going to be planning my move to Japan, says Colt Sound. That's a good Christmas plan. Where do you want to live in Japan? I'm spending most of December just baking when I can. I think the mustache looks great, but I think I might be biased because I love facial hair on men. I remember we did a podcast a few weeks ago, and we had to. We found out that Japanese women don't really like mustaches. Japanese women aren't big on it, but one Japanese listener rung in on the fax machine, and they love mustaches, and they went on about how much they enjoy them. So, but generally in Japan, facial hair isn't that popular, and the reason for that is because it can get you fired. Companies don't really allow people to have a mustache. Not really sure why that is, because a samurai used to love a mustache, but sometime around the 20th century they started getting rid of it in the workplace, and that seems to have stuck. Sadly. I'm cooking Christmas dinner for my mother. Very nice. I'm going to miss Christmas dinner this year, so I'm staying in Japan for Christmas, and I usually run away from the country at Christmas time. And I've actually got a video on that coming out called "Why I Don't Like Japan at Christmas." I think it's going to be more eloquently titled than that, but I don't really enjoy staying in Japan for Christmas. Obviously, it's nice to go back and see the family and whatnot. And Christmas for me is actually probably my favorite time of year, or at least it was up until a couple of years ago. It's starting to not be as fun anymore. Now I'm getting old and I don't get any presents anymore, apart from Ken Watanabe cutouts. But I usually go home for Christmas, but because of everything going on this year, it just seemed a bit irresponsible and a bit of a nightmare. So I'm in Japan for the first time in quite a while, actually. I think like 3, 4, 5 years, maybe. So I'm going to talk about why I normally leave Japan. And there are other reasons. It's not just going and seeing family. There are more interesting reasons. But the good thing is, because I'm not going anywhere, I am actually going to be spending Christmas, sort of the run up to Christmas, with Natsuki and with Joey, who's coming up to Tohoku. I'm going to do like a live show to celebrate the end of Journey Across Japan, and it should be a lot of fun. Oh, and we're eating KFC. We're eating the KFC Christmas menu, which you may have seen in a video I made about 6 or 7 years ago now. A meal that, I mean, how would you describe the KFC Christmas menu? It's certainly interesting. Whether it's good or not, that remains debatable. I'm moving to Tokyo for my course, but luckily, says Coltsan, I can catch the train to other places easily. That's good. I mean, the good thing about Tokyo is you can get anywhere pretty easily. Nobody ever does. All my friends in Tokyo, nobody ever comes to visit, even though it's like an hour and a half on the bullet train. People are like, oh, it's too far. Oh, literally an hour and a half on a bullet train, the most comfortable, magical journey. I think maybe price is an issue. It can be a little bit pricey. It's about $100 one way from Tokyo to Sendai. So maybe that's the reason. That's fair enough. I'll let them off for that. What will your Christmas dinner look like, says Millie? Yeah, so it'll be a KFC Christmas menu. We've already booked it because it sells out really quickly. KFC launched KFC Christmas in the 1970s, I think for American servicemen and women living and working in Japan. And as some sort of brilliant marketing ploy. And then it just took off from there, really, because in Japan, the only thing they do for Christmas, the only food they have to celebrate with is the Christmas pudding. They have a Christmas pudding. But Christmas in Japan is a bit of a weird kind of thing. Like for me, Christmas is all about that build up to Christmas, right? You've got the kind of 2 or 3 weeks. Christmas Day arrives. You sit around, you have your turkey, you have your presents, and then it lasts a few days. You've got Boxing Day, you've got New Year's and everything. In Japan, it's just Christmas now. From like the last week of, from the middle of November, they start having Christmas decorations up. So Christmas feels really long. There's a bit of build up, but then Christmas Day comes, nothing happens apart from some KFC Christmas chicken. And then on like Boxing Day, all the decorations are gone and Christmas is over. The fun is over. That's it. And I don't like that. I think that's a shame. I remember going shopping on the 26th of December and all the decorations just gone overnight, magically. And I was really disappointed about that. For me, Christmas is like December 1st to January 10th or so. But yeah, it's a very hollow kind of time of year. It's very commercial, very commercialized. Although I suppose Christmas in the West isn't it, these days? Did you get the deluxe meal, says Pixel Twister? We did. I got the deluxe meal finally. In the original KFC Christmas video, unfortunately, I tried to get the deluxe meal, but it was sold out because we were late to order it because people love that shit. They love KFC Christmas for some reason. So it was sold out. But this year we got the deluxe one, which probably means we've got an extra piece of fried chicken. Yeah. I will get a whole turkey, says Christina. Remove all the bones, roll it back up with a lattice of bacon and garlic and herb butter under the skin. The kids love it. That's very nice. It's very nice. So the first line said, Christina wrote, I'll be performing my annual turkey surgery. At first, when I read that, I thought you're some sort of veterinarian. Are you buying that $80 box again? I think it came to about $50 a box or $40 a box for KFC this year. We did get it for a lot of people. We got it for myself, Natsuki, Joey, Natsuki's wife, Aki, Joey's girlfriend, who's also coming up, and Charlotte's coming over from Morioka because she's got nothing else to do in Tohoku, so she's coming as well. So that's a lot of KFC for 6 people, and a lot of people who are going to be on a live show potentially. That'd be nice for you to spend Christmas with them. Don't want to spend it on your own, says Scott. Yeah, no, of course I don't want to spend it on my own. It's nice to have people around. Yeah, that'll be good, won't it? I don't know why I said it reluctant there. No, it will be good. It will be good. I'm looking forward to it. My Japanese family, weird bunch that they are. Overpriced mediocrity for KFC Christmas meal package, says Alev. It is mediocre, but you get desperate when there's no turkey. You're forced to be desperate. You, Joe, and Natsuki should do a Christmas mukbang and commiserate with the other quarantiners. We'll do that. I'm sure it'll be a good live show there. It'll be about 2 hours long. And I think it's on December 22nd, I'm going to say. Yeah, 22nd. So put that in your diary. I won't announce it until probably the middle of December, to be honest. But Yeah, and it'll probably be a lot of snow. So that's the only good thing about Christmas in Japan. There's actually snow, and in the UK we get like it snows for one day a year, and it's like nothing. It's like a sprinkling, a dusting, and it doesn't feel fun. But in Japan, you get arguably too much snow, but that's a good thing. It's nice to have the snow. Mm. Matthew says, you've mentioned a few times on the podcast that you'll do an episode on the JET program. Any chance that may happen in the near future? It may do, but you know what? I've always come to that episode. I always think, right, I'm going to do the JET program episode, but then it's quite a narrow topic, and I think a lot of people it's not interesting for necessarily. So I've got to think of a way to make it broadly appealing, which is going to be the name of my third spin-off YouTube channel, Broadly Appealing. I've got to make it broadly appealing to viewers. But what would you want in the video? I mean, sorry, what would you want in the podcast? I'm not really sure what to cover. It sounds like a forced celebration, says Divya. It's not forced. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have fun. Going to eat KFC. I'm going to get a haircut. Natsuki salon, probably. Natsuki and Joey are quite good friends now, so that's good. It's part of my strategy to get Natsuki on more channels because he's been on the Abroad Japan channel quite a lot this year, actually. It's been a good year for Natsuki. Ryotaro, not so much. It's weird. Ryotaro was in like 4 or 5 videos at the start of the year. Like from January to April, he was everywhere, wasn't he? Couldn't escape from him. And now we haven't seen him in about like 7 or 8 months. But Natsuki's kind of been on the channel quite a lot throughout this year in some interesting ways, and it's good to get him back. And I'm looking forward to getting on some more channels like Joey and Charla. Maybe we can get him on Trash Taste. I don't think that'll happen, but dare to dream. It looks like I might be on an upcoming episode of Trash Taste over the festive season. I don't know if they let me talk about that, the Trash Taste lads, but I'm going to go and see them again and hopefully do an episode together. That should be fun. The second time this year. I better go and take some presents for Connor, Grant, and Joey. Don't know what to give them. Get some cardboard cutouts, maybe. Does KFC have vegan chicken for Charla? Says Eels. No, she'll have to eat just some lettuce or whatever there is at KFC that's for vegans, because I don't think there is any, unfortunately. Is Charla still vegan? I think so. Don't know. I'm not. I don't know. As someone who's not a vegan, I don't actively police her on it, but I think Charlotte's flexible on that these days, says Adam. No more chicken for Chris if Shales is still vegan. Shales? Is that Charlotte's new name? Or a misspelling? Don't know. Try living in County Durham for snow, including Christmas some years, says Andrea. Yes, I suppose it's not fair, really. Whenever I talk about British weather, I always talk about where I'm from in the south, in Kent. Of course, for North England and North UK, just the UK in general up north, there is a lot more snow. I think in Scotland as well. We'll see what the viewing time is like with the time difference. Christmas in Japan is a bit weird and underwhelming, says Liberty. What are you going to be doing for Christmas, Liberty? Going to be getting the Connor cardboard cutout by chance? Ha ha ha. It's a joke there because Liberty likes Connor. Hey, that's like the hashtag I made. Hashtag broad appeal. God. Don't worry, I'm not going to turn broadly appealing into a YouTube channel. I've still got a broad perspective. I don't seem to upload there as much as I should. But another thing I'm doing for Christmas is going to Kyoto for a week to make a documentary. And I'm really looking forward to it because I've been wanting to go to Kyoto all year. Because there's no tourists, it'd be quite an interesting and rare time to go to Kyoto. It's the first time Kyoto hasn't had any tourists in probably about 150 years since the country was shut down. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be pretty interesting. I'm doing a documentary on townhouses in Kyoto. There's a company that reached out to me asking if I was interested in doing a video about how they renovate townhouses. They take a dilapidated, rundown house, renovate it into a matsya townhouse, and then they sort of turn it into like a Airbnb or a hotel, and people can come over and stay there. And I was looking at the properties and they looked amazing. So it's not sponsored, but they are helping me film it. So I'm really looking forward to that. And for me, like I've always wanted to do something serious in Kyoto, do like a documentary or something. The only thing I've done down there that I can recall is the episode with Pete Donaldson. And for a lot of people, that was quite disappointing because Kyoto's got lots of culture and history and magic. And we just went to a monkey park on a hill. and and made some weird figurines or something down a street. It was a little bit underwhelming for a lot of people, but very very Pete Donaldson, wasn't it, that episode? But it's nice to go back, do something a bit more serious, and I think it could be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to doing that, making kind of. I'm going to try and like go all out and do something really cinematic and good. So watch the space on that. But yeah, I'm down in Kyoto for a whole week, so should be a lot of fun. Does Natsuki study English or not? The comments disappeared. Does Natsuki study English, or does he want to keep it iconic? He does not study English at all. He had a phase where he did, and I used to teach him. He had a tutor as well, but he gave up, sadly. It's a shame. But then Natsuki, his level's all right, isn't it? It depends with Natsuki. It depends on A, how much sleep he's had, and B, how drunk he is. And if he's a little bit drunk, but not too drunk, and if he's had the right amount of sleep, which is about 8 hours, he's pretty good. Or good. Well, he's all right. Did you get frostbite or hand warmer burns during the last podcast, says PsychoSeek? Yes, the last podcast episode. My apartment could get very cold. It was very cold that day because I didn't put the heating on as long as I should. And I hosted the podcast while holding hand warmers and wrapped in a blanket. I didn't get burnt though, but it was a thoroughly surreal and unpleasant way to record a podcast. It's as I mentioned a minute ago that Ryotaro is not on the channel that much. As Aliv and Daniel said, he has his own channel now. He doesn't need me. He doesn't need Abroad in Japan. It's true. He doesn't need me anymore. We've got Ryotaro's Japan, the bestest YouTube channel in the world. It's not though, is it? No, but no, it's good. I think Ryotaro is in Hokkaido this week. Ryotaro is going to the most northern part of Hokkaido. The most northern part of Japan. I think it's called Wakanai, and he's flying to Sapporo from Sendai. He's renting a car. He's driving for 4 hours or 5 hours. It's pretty far to the peak, like the most northern part of Japan. He's going to get there at 8 p.m., stay one night, and then drive all the way back and come back to Sendai the next day. Why is he doing that? Why not just go for 2 nights? He's ridiculous. It's just such a Ryotaro thing to do. Like whenever we go on a trip somewhere to make a video, he doesn't like put enough bloody time into it. Like it should be like 2 nights, but he'll do 1 night, and I'm forced to run around like a madman with a camera and try and capture everything in a very short space of time. I don't know why he does that. Maybe it's his busy schedule. Maybe he likes to put me through hell, put me under pressure. But still, it'll be interesting to see what it's like up there, especially in December. It should be bloody cold and snowy, so it could be quite fun watching Ryotaro suffer in minus 10 degrees Celsius. Eels says, you did plug Ryotaro's restaurant on Instagram again, though. I did, yeah. I was in Ryotaro's restaurant yesterday, albeit not with Ryotaro. I met with my good friend Yuki, who's known as Tiny Beer Man because of an episode once. I think one of 2 episodes he's featured in on Abroad in Japan, and he had a little tiny beer. But he's a really cool guy, and he's actually a bit like the best bits of Ryotaro and Natsuki combined. Like I think he's actually funnier in many ways than Natsuki and Ryotaro. He's really crazy. His English is a little bit better than Natsuki. Imagine if Natsuki was a little bit better at English, a little bit overweight, admittedly, and very, very rich. I think Yuki's like a millionaire. He drives around a big Jeep listening to the Star Wars soundtrack, which is quite surreal when you're in the passenger seat. But really good guy. And if you want to see who he is, I'll just show you a photo. But I'm looking to do some videos with him next year because he's really an interesting character. And there he is, enjoying Ryotaro's restaurant with Hang the World. Hang the World on his shirt. There you go. It does say change the world. So it's just missed out. Good food at Ryotaro's restaurant as well. My favourite dish at Ryotaro's place is the Rice Krispie cake thing. Look at this. You get to smash it. You get to smash it with a hammer. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, Yuki's a lot of fun. He's a great guy. So let's talk Mount Fuji. Are you going to do a Patreon preview of episode 5 and 6? It says chuck it all and go. I'm not going to do a preview because I don't want to spoil anything. But that is coming out hopefully later today. And I've basically got to finish it this afternoon. It's a good episode. The next episode, Journey Across Japan. And let's chat Journey Across Japan. How's it been going? Have you enjoyed it so far? Have you found it? Good, bad? What was your favourite episode? I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. I've realised I'm a bit behind on the comments, so let me catch up quick. Kyoto, without too many people, says Catherine. Yes, exactly. I mean, Kyoto has got a really bad tourist problem. I say that a lot, it does have a tourist problem, but it's a victim of its own success. But it's certainly going to be weird not having any tourists there. It's going to be mental. The first time I went in 2013, Kyoto wasn't too busy because that was the beginning of Japan's tourist boom when there was about maybe 12, 15 million people coming to Japan. Now we're talking 30 million. So, two times the amount. But it's going to be interesting. Hype, lots of hype around Journey Across Japan here. I went to Wakanai in January last year. It says blue sky days. It was amazing and it snowed a lot. Asahikawa was colder. I haven't been to Asahikawa actually. Was he in the old video of trying Marmite? Yes, Yuki was in the Marmite video. If you watch the Marmite tasting video, Yuki was the highlight of that as well. Right, on to Journey Across Japan then. I enjoyed it, loving it. It was good. My favourite was the second episode, says John. Bernard says, my favourite episode was the first one. My favourite, says Nikim, was the 1,000-year-old log. It's interesting. It's really kind of what I've found with Journey Across Japan is it's every episode seems to attract very different viewers. Like a lot of people don't like creepy stuff. And actually, after the first episode, the abandoned love hotel one, which was pretty scary, I think, probably the scariest of the season, or maybe the creepiest video I've ever made. I even got like one person send me an email saying, you have to put a disclaimer on this video because I had a panic attack watching it. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think it was an isolated case, but I don't think it was that bad. I'm guessing it's the drawing, like in the Love Hotel, the drawing was pretty fucked up, right? The woman who was naked and cut up, and yeah, I mean that could probably induce a panic attack. To be fair, I missed the struggle, the funny struggle of the original Journey Across Japan, but it's been great so far. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt the bike added a bit of fun to it, but I actually don't think it's that much of an issue as I thought. Like my main concern with this season of Journey Across Japan was with the absence of the bicycle and the absence of like a real physical challenge. Is it going to be as exciting? And it seems to have worked pretty well. And you'll have to keep shooting Joey with a Nerf gun until you're verified, says Eels. Yes. If you haven't seen the behind the scenes Journey Across Japan episode from the last Capsule Hotel Pyramid episode, that's on Patreon. And you can see Joey get shot with a Nerf gun. And I really wanted to put that in the video, but it just felt a bit too silly. And a lot of the Abroad in Japan audience is quite mature, with people aged between 25 to 35 mainly. And I just thought it was a bit silly shooting Joey with a Nerf gun. As fun and as cathartic as it was shooting Joey in the face. Journey Across Japan should be a yearly or 2 yearly segment, says Wayne. I'm actually already planning the third season of Journey Across Japan with Natsuki and with Joey again, because I felt there was a good dynamic there. Originally, my plan was to have different guests, like have another season of Journey Across Japan, have a different guest though. But I felt Joey, myself, and Natsuki actually kind of complemented each other quite nicely, right? So yeah, we're going to get them both back, and we're looking at doing the next season of Journey Across Japan, and probably the last for a while. In April next year. I think one of the reasons for doing it now quickly is because there's not many tourists. The country's still relatively empty and quiet. So April would be a good time. And this time we're looking at doing it towards Kyushu direction. Because, of course, in the original season of Journey Across Japan, Kyushu didn't really get the respect it deserved because of my poor health and just general, I was fucked by the time I got to Kyushu. Fuck is that? Ugh. Something in my coffee. So it's going to be in Kyushu. I think it'll be a lot of fun. As to what we're doing in Kyushu, that remains to be seen. But it's kind of a secret, so don't tell anyone. It's just between you guys right now. But yeah, Joey and Natsuki are both very up for it. And also with the next season, we're looking to get Natsuki for the whole thing, not just 2 days, but actually for the whole series. And for me, like the best bit of Journey Across Japan was when the three of us were there. We had like different things to bounce off each other. And my favorite episode, personally, is probably the fuck. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what my favorite episode is, but it's either the first or second because Natsuki gave it that extra kind of special edge with his hilarious, like comedic persona and his. I love the pimp my house segment. Sorry, not pimp my house. What was that? Pimp Cribs. It was a bit like Cribs, wasn't it? MTV's Cribs with Natsuki in the log cabin. I love the spooky statue place, says Andrea. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Horrifying, but fun. I'm loving the collab of you, Joey, and Natsuki. You guys all together is very entertaining viewing. Chris, I love the transitions in the capsule hotel video. The transition from the crate to the past capsule hotel footage was very good, says Liz. I didn't even really think much of it, but loads of comments were like, "Wow, that transition was amazing," and it was a very simple transition. It took like 1 second. You just put it on, and the frame just moves left or something. But I suppose it does look quite good. It did look quite fluent. That's what makes a good transition. It's kind of seamless. You don't really notice it that much, I think. I've enjoyed the series so far, says Matthew, but I do miss the travel sequences of the first installment of the series. Got to see a lot of wonderful scenery that way. I think we've been able to generally include a lot of good scenery. I think the last episode with the capsule hotel wasn't good for that because the weather was shit and we like scrapped all the car scenes altogether because I had to drive through like a typhoon. But the first 3 episodes, I think we showed a lot of scenery. I would argue more in some respects than the original Journey Across Japan. How is driving in Japan? Is it doable, even if you don't speak Japanese, says Sam? Yeah, it's very doable. It's one of the easiest countries to drive in the world, I'd say. But then again, Japan do drive on the correct side of the road, so it's especially easier for me. It's a hilariously good series, says Judith. Spooky Love Hotel is my favourite. I think that was my favourite episode, yeah. I'm going to say the first episode was my favourite. Just because Natsuki was on good form. And of course, the abandoned quarry. Like, completely overlooked how amazing that quarry was. The quarry, the Love Hotel, the Pringles, fish and chip Pringles. Never again. They're going to have those fucking Pringles. And also angry Natsuki in the car. I mean, that was beautiful. Just watching Natsuki have a meltdown. And the best thing was that wasn't staged. We actually did arrive 2 hours late to pick up Natsuki, and he was really quite angry, which you can see in the video. It seems when Natsuki's angry, he gets good at Japanese. He was very fluent in that little outburst in the car, wasn't he? I'm loving the new series, says Blue Sky Days, but I can't help feeling a little sad when watching it because the weather is so bad. Yes, the weather was so bad for the first 4 or 5 days of the trip, but the next episode, it does get a lot better, thankfully. And the last episode, the weather's perfect. So it kind of ends quite nicely. That was quite lucky as well. I really like the capsule hotel in the shipping container, says chuck it all and go. Yeah, it was good. And I put a link to that on Patreon. So if you guys want to go and stay in it yourself, you know where it is now. It's just near Lake Kawaguchi. And if you've got like a group of kind of 4 people or more, it's definitely worth it. Next year, Chris, I want to visit Japan for the first time, says Voot Master. Would you recommend staying in big cities for longer stretches or going to a variety of places and only staying a day or 2 in each? It depends how long you're here for, really. If you're here for 2 weeks, you are going to be in cities most of the time, I imagine. Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima. Yeah, it's up to you, really. But Tokyo is kind of unavoidable if it's for your first time. And there is a lot to do in Tokyo as well, because you can go on day trips to different places like Hakone or Kamakura or Yokohama. But I'd always recommend that to people coming the first time. You've got to do a lot of Tokyo and Kyoto. The series is also different, which is quite interesting, says Catherine. Yes, I think that's one thing I'm proud of is the just sheer diversity. When you look at this season of Journey Across Japan, so many crazy places we visited, and yeah, there's a nice diversity. Even if you're not into creepy stuff, The third episode's really nice with the 1,000-year-old log. Although seeing Joey and I almost naked in a 1,000-year-old log, undeniably a little bit creepy for some people, I imagine. I love season 2 of Journey Across Japan. I love how there is less chaos and each episode is more concise. I can tell you've learned a lot from the previous journey. That I have. I did learn a heck of a lot from the original Journey Across Japan. And I'll tell you now, it's a lot more fun and a lot easier to film an entire series and then edit it and release it afterwards. It's incredible when I look back at the original series in the first week of the original Journey Across Japan in 2018. I don't know how the hell I rode the bicycle, filmed it all, and somehow edited it at the same time. It's been a lot nicer doing it this way. And I think the quality of the videos is much better for it. Like, we're not that far off TV quality, really. I'm pretty proud of the production quality. And having Norm along to film it as a cameraman, having Takeo Lens along, really makes all the difference, I think. And not just holding the camera like that the whole time. It's nice to have Norm along. What is it really like to sit in a plant pot bathtub, says Liz. You know what? It was all right. It was all right. But I think having sat in a 1,000-year-old log and then sitting in a plant pot, it's a bit of a step down, isn't it? This beautiful carved log with this nice, smooth, kind of polished finish, and then just a plastic bathtub, plastic plant pot. I think I'd have enjoyed it more if I hadn't stayed in the best hot spring, the best private hot spring in Japan the night before. Joey's version of the capsule hotel video was definitely sillier, says Eels. Yeah, it was. In many ways, it was more fun, I suspect. I've noticed when I'm in other people's videos, I'm able to let my hair down a bit and relax a bit more. When it's your video and you're the presenter, and it's the same for doing a podcast, you feel like you got to be a bit more serious. You got to keep things on point. And so it's a bit harder, I find. Whereas on Joey's one, I was like, oh, it's Joey's video. I can do what I want kind of thing. And I was a lot more relaxed. So, yeah, if you watch both videos, you can see there's definitely a difference. The feast at the ryokan was amazing, says Dowd Pride. Yeah, I know. The kaiseki dinner was amazing at the ryokan. Very, very big dinner. It was huge. I had so much footage from that, but I had to cut it down to like 2 or 3 minutes of highlights. But I think, yeah, it was a really good meal. And if you do go to Gifu, which you have to do, you have to go at least once. Beautiful place. The Wagyu is amazing. Unless you're vegan, get it at all costs because it's bloody amazing. I'm hoping Pete Dawson can join you next time, says Georgina. I would love to do something with Pete. I don't know when he's going to come over next, though. It's a real shame that he's not around this year much. Absolutely get Pete involved next time. Make it up to him that he missed out on monkeys and abandoned buildings. I feel lucky in some respects. While we've not had Pete over this year much, he did come over at the start of the year, and we did do some cool stuff together, like the Sapporo video, and he was with me when I filmed the tsunami documentary, and he was really fun there. It was quite fun having him along for the ride there. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame we didn't have him over again in October, as he was planning to do. Any thoughts about exploring Nagasaki, says Dowd Pride. Yeah, I mean, Nagasaki, that will be in the next season of Journey Across Japan. No doubt about that. Absolutely. Like, it's the one city in Japan the one major city in Japan, I think, that I haven't really seen or passed through at all. Right, if you look at a map of Japan, Nagasaki's in the most difficult place to get to because it's in the south, and then it's around some sort of inlets and islands, and it's really quite remote on the south edge of Japan. And unless you're going there specifically for Nagasaki, it's quite difficult to get there. I thought about ending Journey Across Japan there originally, the first series, but it didn't look as dramatic on a map. Kagoshima is on the kind of southwestern point, isn't it? So it kind of looked more dramatic, whereas Nagasaki's not. So it missed out that time. But yeah, we're definitely going to go there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. My wife says she can't pick a favourite so far. They've all been good, according to her. That's very nice of her, Nathan. But she has to choose. She has to. Those are the rules. Got to have one episode. Journey Across Japan Ramen Edition, says Alev. That's a point. We haven't had any ramen on this season. Then again, I'd rather have no ramen than bloody black ramen again in Toyama. We actually passed very close to the place where Charlotte and I had black ramen in the first series of Journey Across Japan. And I was tempted to take Natsuki and Joey and give that to them, but unfortunately, B Larvae took over, and we had that instead. And in hindsight, the fucking black ramen would have been better after all. You did biking in the first season. You did driving in the second season. What will season 3 be, says Tony. Season 3 will be in a car again, I hope, because it's a lot easier, I can assure you. Either a car or... I did think about doing mopeds or scooters, but I think a car is a lot easier. Like, I want the places to be the kind of the most... I want the places to take precedent, not the mode of transportation. But maybe we could do some sort of physical challenge on the next series where we have like a day where we do like only bikes or skateboards. Only bikes sounds like some sort of crappy spin-off of OnlyFans. Yeah, we'll do a day with a bike, and that'll make up for that, and then I'll feel vindicated. One day with bikes, the rest in cars. Kyushu is going to be great. Lots of great nature, says Liberty. Yes, my favorite view in Japan is in Kyushu. I don't know if you've been down there, Liberty, but the Mount Aso is just fucking insane. It's like another planet. Like the Mount Aso, Aso Caldera near Kumamoto, blew me away when I was there. And one of my favorite episodes of Journey Across Japan is set there. And I called it something like, "What is it like eating raw horse meat?" Which is the local dish of Kumamoto. If you go down there, and it's not that bad if you're daring, if you like meat. But in that episode, we kind of saw the Aso Caldera, absolutely stunning. Like, I remember standing on the edge of the caldera and thinking, holy shit, this is where, like, the video games designers who did Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda, like, this is where they got their inspiration from, because it looks like Hyrule. It looks like the kind of world from Zelda. So, yeah, a really amazing place. Would love to go back, and I'm sure we will. You showed us Fukuoka very briefly a while ago. Would you visit again and show us more? Pete seems to be a fan of it. I would, but I feel like we did Fukuoka justice in the last episode. And I think with the next series of Journey Across Japan, I think there'd be something poetic about starting in Kagoshima, starting the series in Kagoshima, and maybe ending like Nagasaki or something. We'll have to work it out, but it's more likely we'll do that and miss out Fukuoka this time. But I'm really proud. I really like the Fukuoka episode on the original series of Journey Across Japan. Check that out. It's got the coolest statue in Japan. I can't remember what it was called, but it's bloody brilliant. And it's like the longest bloody statue. It's insane. Do you think the dynamic has changed as an all-guys trip from having females as part of the original journey? Says chuck it all and go. No, I don't think so. Not necessarily. I think, when you have a group of people together, have like a trio of individuals together, you've got to make sure they all bounce off each other quite nicely. And I think when you look at myself, Joey, Natsuki, it seems to work quite well, especially as we can all communicate in Japanese, so Natsuki doesn't feel too left out. But yeah, I think that's a really good lineup. And as I said, I was thinking of having me, Natsuki, and someone else and try and mix it up. But I think Joey was actually really good on season 2. Like, we had such a good laugh together. And you can see that in the kind of series, right? So, yeah, I'm going to get him back for sure. I'm nervous about having to drive on the opposite side of the road when I move there next year. Oh, God, yeah. It's not that bad. I mean, I've driven in France, and that was pretty scary. I've driven in Italy. That was really scary. And I crashed a moped there because driver cut me up. Be careful if you're driving in Italy. It feels like the series is more planned this time. How much of it is improvised? I'd say a lot of it is planned, but then a lot of it is improvised. So let me give you an example, because a lot of people are wondering about this. And I'd say if you look at let's say episode 2 of the Journey Across Japan, Escape to Fuji, right? We had the start point planned and the end point planned, right? So we had the Jikokudani Valley with the monkeys. Oh, it's so great to see the monkeys, wasn't it? Yeah, that was really great. And it ended with the kind of statues. So I had the beginning and start point determined there already. But the challenges were completely open-ended. Like, Ian went through, picked out 3 that he thought would be good. And Nagano has a record for having like lots of weird food. So I think that's probably why he chose that. But I looked at the challenges afterwards, and they were completely different things. Like one of them was one was like find a really weird dish from the area. Another one was like go and talk to a local and hear their story, I think. And another one was, what was the other one? I think the other one was do a Dr. Jelly commercial, right? Because we wanted to do that at some point in the series, but we didn't know when. So we had three completely different ways it could have gone there, right? But the one we chose was the food, and so it kind of steered the episode in one direction. And it's nice not kind of knowing what's going to happen in that regard. So it's nice when you've got the start and end point, but you don't quite know the journey there, right? And that is why the challenges are so fun and so good. Like it really does change the direction. It is like it could completely change the series. So yeah, it might look staged, but the start and end point are typically in mind already. Like the third one as well with Dr. Jelly, that could have gone anyway. It might not have been Dr. Jelly, it might have been another one. But yeah, it's all down to Ian really, picking the challenges and making sure it's something good. And that's why he's so good at it. He has a tendency to pick the right one and not some of the more dangerous ones, like what was it? Cover yourselves in fucking custard or something. In the last episode, Jerry and I read through some of the more weird ones, and covering ourselves in custard. I'm not sure how that would have gone down. Or try not to speak or listen to each other for a day. That would have been fun, wouldn't it? But the challenges are just one part of it. Your 1,000-year-old log adventures made me consider doing that instead of going to Hakone, says Onyx. Well, I mean, in Hakone, there's lots of good onsens and hot springs there. Like there's one hot spring where you can bathe in red wine. I don't know why anybody would want to do that, but that's a thing you can do. It's not as good as a 1,000-year-old log, but the only problem with Ghetto Hot Springs, where we went, is it's pretty fucking isolated. It is quite difficult to get there, so bear that in mind. It's pretty tricky. Did you ever live down saying you wanted to be Zelda, says Opalin? No, I don't know why people attacked me for that. I wanted to be Zelda in the quarry. I wanted to be a princess. Can't believe people got so worked up over that. I actually had to cut that segment out because it was starting to really annoy me. Everyone in the comments was like, oh my God, I can't believe you said Zelda instead of Link. I wasn't thinking, let's face it. But it got really annoying, so I just cut the whole segment out. So if you go back and watch the original episode, Journey Across Japan, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, in the first episode, we went to this quarry, and there was like a platform that looked like something out of a Nintendo game. And I said, oh, it'd be a great place to pretend to be Zelda, which of course you can't say because you have to be Link, don't you? I'm a guy, Link is a guy, can't be a princess. And a lot of people call me out. They're like, oh my God, Chris, I can't believe you said that. And I just, fuck it. And all the comments, instead of being, wow, what a great love hotel. Wow, what a great quarry. Wow, this was a fun episode. It was like, oh my God, can't believe you got Link and Zelda wrong. I was like, oh, fuck. So I just cut that segment out to stop that from happening. I got all Communist Party and started changing history. Another thing I had to do recently was I had to blacklist the word masks. Wear masks, don't wear masks, because I noticed a lot of videos of war across all my videos on abroad in Japan. There's just like constant battles between people. People, just to be clear, on Journey Across Japan, we did wear a mask pretty much at all times when we're outside. Like if you look at it, somewhere like Takayama, when we're eating the wagyu on a stick, we took our masks off briefly and whatnot. But for the most part, we did wear the masks the whole time. But a lot of people, like somebody commented, I can't believe you weren't wearing your masks in the car. Like you need to wear them at all times. Like, what are you on about? We're not going to wear the masks in the car. Like some people are like, why aren't you wearing the masks in your apartment? Why aren't you wearing them? Like I wear the masks. Calm down. And then on the other hand, there's other people saying, why are you wearing masks? I don't do anything. You're an idiot. Why are you fucking wearing masks? So, and all these wars were taking place in the comment section of the video. So I just thought, fuck this, blacklist the word masks. And actually now the comments about masks are gone, and I feel a lot better for it. And there's a lot less arguments going along in the comment section, people calling each other out. How did having Norm take the shots help you come up with great shots? Says Daniel. Well, it's just a lot easier, isn't it? When you've got two people in the frame, it's nice it gives it a more professional edge. Like, on the one hand, it's nice to hold the camera and film yourself, but it can feel a bit amateur sometimes, can't it? And it's quite heavy. The new camera I've got, which is a 6K cinematic monster, it's bloody heavy. Not even Ken Watanabe could hold it. And so it's nice to have Norm there to hold it for me. Yeah. But he definitely made a big difference. And would love to get him back for the next series as well. How Joey seems quite a tame Aussie. I lived with one for 4 years and he was a stereotype. Your chemistry with Joey is excellent. Yeah, he's all right. He's a good bloke, Joey. Not a bad word against him. Apart from when he left me in that tunnel. And actually, Journey Across Japan, Escape to Fuji was all about revenge, but I never did get revenge, I don't think. So that's a shame. Yeah, that's a shame. I should have left him in the bloody abandoned hotel, the bloody empty hotel. You'd be a beautiful Zelda, Chris. Thank you. Crossover cosplay episode with Sea Dog when with Connor. I should probably do something with Connor at some point. I think a lot of people want us to do a video together, and I think we'd get on pretty well. So yeah, I'll be up for that. Don't know about the cosplay thing though. I'll leave that to Connor. He loves doing that. Is buying sake from my local supermarket worth it, Chris? Says Kenny. Depends what the sake is. If it's 1 cup sake, no, is the answer, Kenny. No, not at all. Depends what it is, though. And I can't pretend to be a sake expert. I like the stuff, but I really don't know much about it. Like, I can't tell you what's good and what's bad. Just the more expensive, the better. Just like real wine. Just like normal wine. Real wine. Like, the more expensive wine tends to be refined, right? They've refined the rice and polished it or something. But yeah, what's that noise? Some sort of noise going on. Weird. Did you not have a go at the drifting when Trash Taste went? Says Alex. No, because I was too busy filming it with the drone, wasn't I? They did actually offer beforehand. They did sort of say, "Do you want to do it as well?" And I sort of said, "No, let the guys have their thing." I would have beaten them anyway. Let's face it. Especially as I'm the only one out of the 3 of them who had like a driving license in Japan and who's actually been driving the whole time. Like, I don't think any of them had a driving license when they did the drift episode, but it was a lot of fun to take part in that. And the most fun I've had, like doing stuff with the drone, trying to not crash into Connor's car. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. If you do a video with Connor, please make him call you senpai, says Amy. I will do just that, Amy. I definitely will. Technically, I am his senpai because I'm older than him. How old is Connor? Like 24, 25, 26? I've got a 4-year head start, haven't I? We all want to see you do cosplay with Connor. I don't. Sake tasting expert video, says Daniel. I'm actually doing a sake video with Ryotaro in January. The only problem with doing a sake video is sake is very boring to look at. It's just like water, and it just looks like water, right? And in episodes in the past with Ryotaro, because Ryotaro can't drink, we just pour some water in his sake cup and make it look like he's drinking sake. It's the greatest scandal on Abroad in Japan. Sake tasting lie. Ryotaro can't handle alcohol. He'd just die if he had like a cup of sake. So we have to lie a bit. But yeah, the trouble with filming sake is, oh wow, it's a clear liquid. Oh, it tastes so refined. Like, there's only so much you can do about it. So it's a tough one. But I'm sure it'll be fun. Any excuse to hang out with Ryotaro should be interesting. Hey Chris, any chance you'll make a new video with Yuki? Says Blobby, as I saw him earlier on your Instagram. Yes, as I mentioned earlier on, I'm going to do some stuff with Yuki next year. It'd be good to have some more kind of characters on Abroad in Japan, I think. We've got Natsuki, we've got Ryotaro, have we got anyone else? We've got Pete. It would be nice to mix it up a bit and have Yuki. I think we need some Japanese girls, though. It's starting to look like just loads of guys doing things, isn't it? Need some actual female presenters on Abroad in Japan. I'd love to do something else with Jackie. Jackie's awesome. We had a good time in Sapporo. And she was going to come over to Japan, but again, she lives in the UK. Coronavirus thing. That sucks. What's that? Chris, will you let Patreon supporters vote where you'll be going for your next journey across Japan, or have you already decided? Says Zenin. I won't. No, I'm not going to let people vote. But I mean, there's not many places we could go, really. It's pretty much down to Hokkaido, Shikoku, or Kyushu. And Kyushu is the place that none of us, Joey, Natsuki, or I, haven't really seen it. I think Natsuki's been once. I've been once, twice. Joey's never been. So I think that'll be a lot more fun. Shikoku's all right, but I don't know what there is there, actually. And Hokkaido, I don't know. I feel like Kyushu's got more diversity and more stuff going on, so I think that'd be good. And I'll be announcing that probably in a couple of months once we've got more details. But I'm looking forward to that. Do they have Jaeger bombs in Japan? They do. They do, actually, yeah. Unfortunately. Would you ever buy a house in Japan or buy an abandoned one and fix it up? I'm obsessed with Tokyo Llama, who is renovating a gorgeous traditional house. I'm not the sort of person who has the patience or will to renovate something. I'm rubbish at that. So probably not. But as I said, when I'm going to Kyoto in 2 weeks, I'm going to do a documentary on how they renovate townhouses in Kyoto. And I think that's more interesting than me trying to renovate a house. Or that wouldn't be me, would it? The idea of me like renovating anything, banging together a house is terrifying. Probably fucking destroy the house. Ancient wood and bricks or whatever, and I'd fuck it all up. It'd be a disaster. Connor's got a driving license, says Liberty. Oh, does he now? It's about time. Trash Taste had their own driver. In the drifting episode, I was actually driving them everywhere off camera. I was their driver more than their drone pilot. Can you do an episode on some traditional aspects of Japanese culture? For example, weddings. Difficult to film a wedding. I don't know how many people would want me turning up. And I don't really like weddings. I have my own reasons for that. I'm not a wedding person by virtue of the fact that I worked at a castle for 4 years and I worked on about 100 weddings. And I hate weddings now because I've seen how every wedding is essentially the same. I have the same music, they say the same things, the same speeches. I got very jaded and now I hate weddings. So, but yeah, traditional culture. Kyoto Townhouse covered. You should put Liberty on Abroad in Japan or Trash Taste, says Coltsan. I think Liberty says, I support Liberty being on the channel. I support Liberty being on Connor's channel. Let's make that happen. I'm seeing Connor, I think next week. We'll make that happen. Shikoku has the temple trail, says John. Of course, yeah, Shikoku is the, what is it, the 100 temples or something? The trail where you have to go over the mountains and visit all the temples, which would be interesting, but I don't feel I'm ideally placed to do that. As somebody who's sarcastic and just shit all round, the idea of me going into various temples would be like, oh, it's a temple, isn't it? Oh, yeah. That's what it'd be like for a whole video, for a whole series. So I don't think I'm well placed for that. John Daub from Only in Japan or Greg from Life Where I'm From, they'd be good at that. Let them do that. I'm an aspiring assistant language teacher, and I live in Otsu for a summer. I lived in Otsu for a summer in 2015 during an internship. Charla went and loved it. Have you been? Highly recommend it. Where is Otsu? Where is Otsu? Pocket Clue. That's a cool name. Pocket Clue. Where's Otsu? Otsu, is that Hokkaido, right? Let's have a look. It's definitely Hokkaido. Oh, no, it's not. It's Shiga in Kyushu. I'm sure we'll pass through there for Journey Across Japan 3. Absolutely. I suppose that's the main issue I've got with Journey Across Japan 3. What are we going to call it? Because we've got Journey Across Japan, Journey Across Japan Escape to Mount Fuji, Journey Across Japan, let's go to Nagasaki or something like that. Let's go to Nagasaki, Journey Across Japan. Let's look at Kagoshima, Journey Across Japan. Let's go to a field. I don't know. Any ideas? Because it's all about that title. And I think with Escape to Mount Fuji, we hit a home run. Make sure to ride the Michigan boat on Lake Biwa. You won't regret it. The Michigan boat. Oh, Shiga, near Kyoto. Sorry, yes. I've been to Shiga. Yeah, it's a very beautiful area. Really nice place. You've got all the benefits of being near Kyoto, but luckily you get to miss out all the hustle and bustle of Kyoto. And Lake Biwa, beautiful place. If you ever come to Japan, you've got a little bit more time than usual. Like you come to Japan, you've got like 3 weeks or something. Go to Kyoto, rent a car or a bike, or get a train to Lake Biwa, which is about 30 minutes away, and then just go for a cycle around the lake. That was one of my favourite days on Journey Across Japan with Pete Donaldson, actually. Cycling around Lake Biwa, one of the top 50 things to do in Japan, which is a list I've just made right now, but I'll have to actually make a real list soon. That could be a good video or a book. Stocking filler for Christmas 2021. 101 things to do in Japan for less than $1,000, something like that. That'd do well, wouldn't it? We watched Lost in Translation the other day, and I didn't even recognise the bride and groom as that in the scene near the temple. It got us curious. The bridal kimono was interesting. Yes, there is a wedding, isn't there, in Kyoto when Scarlett Johansson's character like stops by on a wedding. I need to rewatch that. I missed that. I haven't seen Lost in Translation in a while. Journey in Translation. Journey Across Japan, Sojourn South. Journey Across Japan with a Vengeance, says Pixel Twister. I like that. It reminds me of Die Hard with a Vengeance, the worst Die Hard of the three. Journey Across Japan with a Vengeance. Journey Across Japan, sample text. Journey Across Japan, Return of Kagoshima. Yeah. Journey Across Japan, exploring the Silver Road. Journey Across Japan, north to south would be neat. Like a non-traditional journey where you go around Hokkaido and Okinawa instead of mainland Japan. Could be interesting. That could be good. Journey Across Japan, Escape of the Spirits, says Wayne. But the spirits in question are whiskey and sake. I daren't take Natsuki on that journey. Wayne, it would only end very badly. I know what Natsuki's like when he's near whiskey and sake. Journey Across Japan, Journey to the West. That would be good. The only problem is using the word journey twice could be an issue. Journey Across Japan, Hunting Ken Watanabe. There he is. That's creepy, isn't it? Let's put it back. I don't know, when I did my video on Christmas in Japan in about a week or two, and he's going to be in it, I'm going to have to use him sparingly because I think viewers are going to get creeped out by his presence. Journey Across Japan, Hunting Ken Watanabe. You know what? I reckon next year we can meet Ken Watanabe, and it's going to be really awkward and weird because he's going to go, "Why have you got a cardboard cutout of me in your videos?" And I'm going to go, because somebody sent it to me, so I had to do it. It was sent to me, so I had to do it. Ken, sorry, but no, I reckon we can meet him. I can feel it. I can feel it. I don't know why, but I can. It's the 9-year anniversary of Abroad in Japan next year, which is a really unremarkable number. But we'll try and get him on. Get Ken Watanabe on Journey Across Japan. I mean, I could just go to his fucking cafe and sit there for a week and hope that he turns up at some point in Kesunuma. It's a little port town, about an hour and a half from here. It's quite isolated. If I just go there, stay at like a local Airbnb for a month, go to his cafe every day, sooner or later he'll turn up. But it would be a little bit elaborate and a little bit weird. And his staff would probably get creeped out. Journey Across Japan, No Time to Fly, says Sophie. I like that one. Journey Across Japan, Journey Harder. Wow, inspired by Die Hard 2. Journey Across Japan, The Little Islands. Journey Across Japan 3. Journey Across Japan, Revenge of Kumamon. Oh, God, not Kumamon. Inevitably, we're going to see a lot of Kumamon, given he's the mascot of Kumamoto. Maybe we can kind of miss out Kumamoto this time, because we did that on the original series. One place I want to go is Beppu. Beppu, which has the hot springs, the best hot springs in Japan. That'll be a lot of fun. Journey Across Japan 3, Quest to the Volcano, Sakurajima. You know what? I want to start Journey Across Japan 3 on the summit of Sakurajima. Let's make that happen. I was even looking at going to Tsushima for Journey Across Japan 3, because Tsushima is near Kyushu, right? A little boat ride. But there's not really a whole lot there. Like, obviously, everyone loves Tsushima because of the video game, but if you look at Tsushima, there's not really much going on. I don't know if it's worth taking that sort of 2-day detour to the island when we could do stuff on Kyushu. Something to think about. Maybe we can realise the dream, or realise the challenge that was sent in on the last episode of Journey Across Japan, which was Journey Across Japan Escape to the Sea or something. Somebody wanted us to do a houseboat, just stay on a boat. That could be fun. I might do that. I mean, the race is certainly on with the next series of Journey Across Japan to do things that are more crazy and wacky and elaborate than season 2. And we've got some hard stuff to beat there when you look at all the stuff we did in this season, and what's yet to come as well. The upcoming episode, we got the British theme park, and that was certainly an interesting place. Journey Across Japan, Back to the Past, Journey Across Japan, Ring of Fire, Journey Across Japan, Square Root of 9 because it's 9 years, and the third journey. I feel like that would lead to a lot of unsubscriptions. Journey Across Japan, Like a Magic. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Journey Across Japan, Scary Fuck Point, says Dowd Pride. Oh, Scary Fuck Point. Natsuki's most hilarious comment, and we didn't even put it in the video because it just sounded too abrasive. Do go back and if you haven't seen the Journey Across Japan behind the scenes videos, though, do go and watch them. The first one and the second one in particular are very funny because Natsuki was on good form. And Scary Fuck Point, I don't know where that came from. I don't know how he thought that up. Journey Across Japan and the Goblet of Sake. Journey Across Japan 3, Decoration English. A Boat Across Japan. I mean, there's a lot of candidates here. The one I like so far is Journey Across Japan. Journey Across Japan. Don't know if I like any of them. Sorry. Some of them are good. Journey Across Japan, Escape of the Spirits is the one that intrigues me the most. Or Journey Across Japan, the Nagasaki Chronicles. Sounds like a book. I like that. It's one of my favourites. Journey Across Japan, Spider Trash. Who did you pay for Journey Across Japan? Natsuki or Joey? Who did I pay for Journey Across Japan? I covered it. Well, I covered both their costs because it was an Abroad Japan project. I felt it was only fair to cover their expenses and whatnot. So yeah, cover both of them. One of the reasons Journey Across Japan was pricey, I didn't pay them a salary or anything, but well, actually no, I did pay Natsuki a little bit because obviously he had to take a week off work, which costs him money. So I had to cover that so he could afford to come. But Journey Across Japan 2 was an expensive project. It did, it cost Patreon money, and that's why Patreon's good, because without Patreon, Journey Across Japan wouldn't have been a thing. So thank you to all of you guys for basically funding and making Journey Across Japan possible, because it wouldn't have been without Patreon. It would have been bloody costly and would have been pretty tricky. So thank you. You give yourself a pat on the back, and Ryoto's face is gone. Now the coffee's fun to drink. Oh, man. Journey Across Japan 3D. Definitely. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap things up now. I think that's everything. Any other news from me? No. I think, all in all, though, I think this has been a really great month, and I've really enjoyed this month. And though it's been tough editing every week, I think it's the first month in. Am I getting a phone call? Oh, phone just went off, but there was nothing on the screen. That's creepy. It's like the first month I can recall where we've had a video every week ever since the video on the biggest apartment in Tokyo, whatever it was. The most, I think it was, $20,000 a month apartment. And I've actually got another video. I went to Tokyo again recently and visited Alex, my friend with the real estate company. Just to be clear, people thought that was a sponsorship, the $20,000 apartment. It wasn't. Alex is a good friend, and he was like, I can get you in somewhere good. And I was like, yes, let's do it. And I went down there and I did it again. So we've got another apartment tour coming up. This time, the apartment is not only more money, but it's the biggest single bedroom apartment in Tokyo. And it is insane. Really quite crazy. So we've got that to look forward to over Christmas as well. So what have we got coming up? We've got the last 2 episodes of Journey Across Japan. We've got a video on why I hate Christmas in Japan. We've got the apartment tour in Tokyo, the biggest apartment in Tokyo. We've got the Kyoto renovated house video. Hopefully I can get that done before Christmas. And then finally, we've got the live show with Natsuki, Joey, Sharla, Aki, Natsuki's wife, who probably won't appear on camera unless she doesn't like being on camera, which is fair enough. I can't blame her. It must be pretty intimidating being on camera with Natsuki when you're his wife. So lots to look forward to next month, and a really good few months, a really good few weeks. And of course, Trash Taste as well. I'll be on there. So lots to look forward to. How does Alex feel about random people showing up at his place of business? I guess he doesn't mind so much. Yes, after that's a good point, actually. When we released the apartment video, doing the apartment tour, Alex did have some strange folks just turn up and walk into his shop and be like, "Hello, just want to say I like the video," and then walked off. And Alex has got a lot of attention in Tokyo recently. People shout at him and say, "All right, YouTube," whenever they see him walking his dog. So I'm not sure how he feels about that, to be honest. It's pretty funny. His YouTube fame in Tokyo. Looking forward to growing that even further and leading to more people walking into his shop. Thank you, Chris. I'm new to Patreon and happy to support such great content. Looking forward to the next video. Thank you, Kim. And thank you to not only all of you guys who are regulars on Abroad in Japan on the Patreon, but to new folks as well. We seem to have hit a record on Patreon this month with over 4,000 people. So it's really great. And it means we've got a decent production budget to do some really cool stuff next year, like another journey across Japan and maybe something with Natsuki in the form of a documentary. Because we didn't do Natsuki the movie, did we, this year? Given we couldn't really travel outside Japan. And I feel if you're going to do a Natsuki the movie too, you need to be able to go to places like the UK and the US and the various places in between. So we'll hold fire on that for now. I've been addicted to looking at real estate in Tokyo now, in case I ever move, says Liberty. Go and give Alex a call, Liberty, and see what he can find you. Some of the places he has are a bit pricey, but I'm sure you can find somewhere good, somewhere near Connor. Will the live show be on the main channel or Patreon only, says Bernard. Bernard, that the live show with Natsuki and Jay will be on the second channel, A Broad Perspective. And of course, there'll be another Patreon live show next month as well. My brother has bothered me to ask, I'm trying to make sure I have an answer. You've mentioned that you dislike canned coffee, all the canned coffee. Just a specific brand you think is bad? I mean, I don't really like canned coffee. I'm a man of fine tastes. I drink Nespresso. It's not that good, is it? It's just convenient. Canned coffee, bit of a hit and miss. I recommend just getting a can of Tully's coffee. That's the best one. Tully's coffee, really good stuff. But for now, guys, many thanks for joining me. Keep an eye out for the next episode, Journey Across Japan, out today, hopefully, unless something goes horribly wrong. And I will see you in the coming days. And of course, we'll have the next behind-the-scenes Patreon video coming out in the middle of next week. But enjoy the last few episodes of Journey Across Japan. Enjoy the start to the Christmas season. And remember, if you make a smoothie, try and drink it in the first half hour so it doesn't go horrible. That's the one thing I want you to take away from this. Goodbye from me, and goodbye from fucking Ken Watanabe, who we still can't fit in shot. There you go. Bye, Ken. Bye. Fucking gonna break it before it. Look at his face. Fucking hell. Look at that. That is the stuff of fucking nightmares. Bye, everyone. Bye. God.